So you've improved from 4,000 till a rank of 3, which is a great improvement. And it would be great if you could share your views with our users so that they can also learn from your journey. During the video lectures, any particular faculty which influenced you more than the others? Would you like to mention some names?
It was Rakesh Nair sir. He was always keep on motivating me.
So you didn't have any percentage in mind that should get more than 70 or 75% while solving the questions.
85% I should have to correct
Right.
on that
I
day.
think so. That is the mentality of toppers. Your 85% is a very healthy number to target. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Rohan Khandelwal, your Marrow surgery faculty, and I have the great honor of introducing Dr. Harshita to you, who secured rank 3 in the recently conducted NEET PG exam. And in my interaction with her before this session, I found out that she is such a humble and a hardworking girl. And she has such an interesting story of how she took up Marrow. So, Harshita, congratulations. Why don't you tell our users about yourself? And what was your inspiration behind taking up Marrow in your final year?
First of all, thank you, sir. Uh, Actually, it was all started in final year part two. I want to come. I want to participate in a quiz, IAP pediatric quiz. So I had to complete the pediatrics syllabus in like 1 week. So
Great.
me and my friend, we took Marrow and we started doing videos. We started watching videos. So we completed that in 1 week. That's where it's all started. Then I don't know before that Marrow was this much good. That then we finally got reached a national IAP quiz and got third rank.
That's great. So that's a very interesting story of your motivation behind taking up Marrow. So, Dr. Harshita, why don't you tell our users a bit about yourself? Where did you graduate from, and which attempt was this in the NEET exam?
I graduated from Rangaraya Medical College, Kakinada, sir. This was
Hmm.
my second attempt after internship. After internship, this was my first attempt. During my internship, I give my first attempt, sir.
And what was your rank at that time?
4,000, sir.
4,000. Right. So you've improved from 4,000 till a rank of 3, which is a great improvement. And it would be great if you could share your views with our users so that they can also learn from your journey. So you were a Plan C user. Can
Yes,
you
sir.
tell us about the video lectures? Of how much time did it take you to watch the video lectures?
It actually took me for 6 months, sir, to totally complete my first reading and
Hmm.
watching videos, sir.
Okay, right. So, Harshita, this is post internship. It took you 6 months. So,
Yes,
were
sir.
you working post internship or were you just preparing for the exam?
I'm just preparing for the exam, sir.
And how many hours of study approximately were you putting in every day?
Initially, it was 8 to 10 hours. Later, it was 10 to 12 hours, like that, sir.
Okay. So, 8 to 10 consistent hours, you were able to finish all the videos of all 19 subjects in 6 months' time. Did you
Yes, sir.
write down your own notes or did you refer to the Marrow notes?
Marrow notes, sir. Printed notes.
Correct. Which I feel is a good strategy if you have less time. So, after interacting with a lot of toppers, what I have gathered is that if you're in third year, fourth year, you should make your own notes. Otherwise, if you are an intern or a post intern, it's better to go with printed notes as you can save on time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, during the video lectures, any particular faculty which influenced you more than the others? Would you like to mention some names?
Yes, sir. I would very much like to, sir. It was Rakesh Nair, sir. He was always keep on motivating me, like you have to study in higher centers to reach to learn much more medicine, and to bring change in patients' life, like that, sir.
No, absolutely. Dr. Rakesh teaches with a very clinical bend and he's always a favorite amongst toppers. So, Harshita, one thing which I want to ask here is that Dr. Rakesh's videos are quite extensive. So, were they an advantage or a disadvantage in any sense?
uh, it was like he, he got into depth of the subject, so I feel like I was aiming for any set, sir, so it was very much useful for me, sir.
Great.
Like,
So, I mean, those extensive videos help you cover medicine and a lot of other allied subjects as well.
yes, sir.
Okay, right. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, in 6 months' time, you finished your videos and the notes along with it. Were you solving questions simultaneously?
Yes, sir. I was solving the question simultaneously, sir.
Okay. So there are usually two strategies which I have observed, and which one were you following? There are some students who, if they read a particular topic, they will do the Q bank of that topic that very day or the next day. And there are second type of students who would do it after a few days to test whether they've retained that topic or not. So what were you following when you were solving the questions?
Usually, I used to watch videos during the daytime, sir.
Okay.
When I feel like I have to take the break, then in the evening times I used to do the Q bank on that day, sir.
Of the same topics which you'd watch the video for.
Yes, sir. On that
Perfect.
same day.
Perfect. Right. Great. So now, when you were solving the Q bank that evening, what was the target in your mind? Did you keep some target that I have to get these many questions, this percentage of questions correct?
Usually, I was like, uh, uh, already I learned something that was I have to do it correctly. If there is any new thing, I usually add it in my notes, sir.
Fair enough. So you didn't have any percentage in mind that should get more than 70 or 75% while solving the questions.
85% I should have to correct
Right.
on that
I
day.
think so. That is the mentality of toppers. Your 85% is a very healthy number to target. So that's the advice from the topper, that you should target more than 80-85% if you're solving the questions that very evening. That will help you to know whether you've understood the concepts or not. So on an average, how many QBank modules were you doing, Harshita, on a daily basis?
It's all based on how many videos I watched on that day, sir. Like how many
Hmm.
topics I have covered. It's averagely 5 to 6, sir, like that.
5 to 6. Perfect. And in the first reading, you covered it in 6 months. So, what would be more important for you? If it is taking 2-3 days more to finish a subject, would you give 2-3 days, or as per your plan, you would move to some other subject?
If it taking 2 to 3 days, I stick to the uh, I will spend more days to
Okay.
complete the subject in my very first reading because it was very much important. Like we have to keep up with the concepts first time. It much clear, sir. That was
Right. So I think so. All the toppers say that the first reading is very important. So even if it is stretching by a few days, you can give that much leeway, and then you can always cover up when you are revising. So, Marrow Q Bank, Harshita, how many times did you solve the entire Q Bank, or did you solve the entire Q Bank or not?
uh, initial. I did it for 2 times, sir.
Right.
Initially, I used to. It was completed, but second time I did it. I couldn't complete it, sir.
Okay.
But previous year question Q bank is very much useful for my initial preparation, sir.
Right. Right. And did you use custom modules as well while preparing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any tips to students regarding how to prepare a custom module? I mean, how to make those custom modules more interesting?
I actually keep it like recent aims, recent NEET, and medium wise, sir,
Okay.
and on that day subject wise, sir.
All right. Okay. Any strategies regarding how to deal with bookmarked questions?
Initially, I used to keep more than more bookmarks, sir. Later, I reduced it after giving my GTs, sir.
Okay, fair enough. Now that you've mentioned GTs, Harshita, when did you start appearing for GTs?
At my in my starting of the preparation, I used to give live GTs only, sir.
Okay. Right. So this was before you had done all the subjects. You were still appearing for the GTs.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you briefly tell us how did your ranks and how did the score progress over time?
Initially, it was like above 1,000, and later it was like 500 to 1,000. Later, it was like 100 to 200, sir. It was like at my second revision, I got
Hmm.
100, 200 like that, sir.
So it was a consistent improvement.
Yes, sir.
Did you use the GT analytics and did they alter your preparation in any way?
Yes, sir. It was. I used to use the analytics to choose which subject I have to read the next time, sir.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that because a lot of students get stuck there. So few tips regarding how to use GT analytics.
uh, after completing every subject, 2 to 3 subject, I used to give GT, sir.
Mhm.
I used to check whether I am improving in my completed subjects, and
Okay.
which topics uh, I'm not sure about. I used to check them and check them twice, sir.
Right.
In that full analytics, if there is any subject I was lagging, I used to prepare it very well, sir, for the next GT.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And how did you revise the GT? That is again some place where students get stuck. They feel that it takes a lot of time. So, what were your strategies while revising a GT paper?
Initially, I revised the incorrect questions. I later I used to just scroll the correct answers, sir.
Okay. So, basically, putting more emphasis on the incorrect answers and the correct answers, which you knew you just used to just scroll by them.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Perfect, Harshita. And so, Harshita, we are done with 6 months. In 6 months, you'd finished all the 19 subjects. You had read the notes. You had finished the Q Bank, also majority of it. Then,
Yes,
how
sir.
did you plan your revision? How much time did the first revision and the second revision take?
First revision took me for 3 months, sir.
Hmm.
For second revision, I watched the revision videos, which were very helpful for me, sir. It took
Right.
me 2 months, sir.
Perfect. So that is something very interesting which you mentioned. So all the toppers are saying that first revision usually takes half the time of the first reading, which is what happened in your case. Now, then you use the revision videos. So can you uh, elaborate on that? Were you just using the revision videos, or you had the notes open side by side? How did you manage that?
Side by side, I opened the notes, sir.
Hmm.
It was like we can't read long hours. We can't concentrate on that, like, sir. So I
Right.
used to watch the videos. Thereby, the main concept of that topic will be covered, and then I will read. So it will be like twice the revision in only one reading.
Great. I mean, so it's a great way to reinforce the same concept in a different manner. And you also have your visual memory cues, your notes open in front of you.
Yes, sir.
Great. So, in the first revision or the second revision, when you were watching these revision videos, what kind of questions were you solving that day? Were you doing a subject wise random test or a custom module? What kind of questions were you solving during revision?
I used to do the custom modules, sir.
Okay. Right. So, in the first reading, you went module wise, and then in the revisions, you started making custom modules because
Yes,
you
sir.
had the knowledge of the entire subject.
Yes,
That's
sir.
that's a very logical thing to do. Great, great. What any other thing regarding Marrow which you liked or you used quite often?
I used to, whenever I kind of think any subject or any topic, I used to search it in Pearls, sir. It was really nice. But it will be very concise and very nice, sir. In
Great. I
short
think it's a great
way.
way to revise the subject. So, Harshita, PG preparation is a very long journey. It has its highs and lows. Um, who was guiding you regarding the preparation strategy? And I mean, was there somebody whom you were interacting with on a regular basis to streamline your strategy?
Actually, it was my classmate, sir. We used to prepare together only. He actually got into November in his set. He used to
Mhm.
guide me. We together took the Marrow in IAP quiz only, sir.
Right. So I think so. Having proper mentorship or guidance is very important for somebody whom you can talk to and reassess your strategy. That really helps in your preparation. Great. What about social media, Harshita? I mean, that is something when we interact with students, either people are obsessed with it or some toppers are not there on social media at all. What was your strategy?
It was actually my relaxing tool only, sir. So
Mhm.
I did use that, sir.
Okay. And social media, I mean, did you restrict the the amount of time which you were on social media?
Yes, sir. I restricted, sir.
How much?
It was like 20 minutes only for day.
Great. Great. Right. Now I have a few questions which commonly students ask us. Is the preparation for INI CET very different from NEET PG?
I don't think so, sir, because I stick with one source, that is Marrow. Uh, for INISET, I used to solve the previous year questions, and I used to observe which topics which are repeating, and we are going into depth in asking questions. That was only difference, sir. Nothing much.
Correct. So I think it's a very important thing which is highlighted. The concepts are the same, but previous year papers are very important for the INI CET exam. So did you make a list of all the important topics from each subject which were being asked in INI CET?
Yes, sir. I did, sir.
So that is again a very important advice coming from a topper. If you're planning for INI CET, please spend a few days to make that list for each subject because that would really streamline your preparation for the INI CET exam. What was your assessment of the INI CET exam, Harshita?
uh, the exam was not much very hard, but it was like some topics are really nicely covered in Marrow. That too, biochemistry, molecular biology is very much in depth asked in biochem inset, which was really nice. I think so.
Okay,
And
which
some
were the
topics,
yeah, sorry, which were the toughest subjects in INI CET this year?
I think it's biochem only, sir.
Okay,
In-depth questions are asked from that, sir.
right. How many questions did you attempt in INI CET?
192, sir.
190. And what was your rank in INI CET?
47, sir.
47. Great. What did you do in the 2 week gap between INI CET and NEET PG?
Actually, I didn't prepare well for NEET PG, sir, because I already got
Doesn't look like
rank.
that. Okay, right. So NEET PG, what was your assessment of the paper?
It was when compared to last year paper, it was little bit tough, sir.
Mhm.
Like I I I used to stuck with two options. I used to like I have some like that, sir.
How many questions did you attempt?
199, sir.
199. Right. And what was your score?
696, sir.
696. Perfect. And which were the toughest subjects in the NEET PG exam this year?
I think it's OBG, sir. Obs and gynae.
OBG. So
It
were there new things which were asked? Any new updates which were asked?
it was like in depth. In management, we stuck with two options. Like sir, both are correct. We have to choose like that only, sir.
Great. Harshita, 1 month leading up to the to the INI CT and the NEET exam, what was your preparation strategy in the last 1 month?
Uh, Actually, I want to crack the INISET, so that's why I used to um, prepare more for INISET topics that I was highlighted in my previous revisions.
Okay, right. So what did you do in the last 1 month? You were just revising those topics only.
Yes, sir.
Were you doing more number of GTs, more than one GT a month?
I used to write the live GTs only, sir. So it was like once in a month.
Once in a month you were doing
Yes,
GTs.
sir.
Perfect. Perfect. Right. So, Harshita, thank you for taking out time and talking to us and sharing your strategy. Any words of wisdom for people who are just about to start preparing, who's just are going to start preparing for the INICT or the NEET PG exam?
I just want to say one thing, sir. Just stuck with one source. Don't stumble with many sources. Just stuck with one source and just believe in what you follow, sir.
Right. I think so. That's very sound advice. After talking to a lot of toppers, each one has a different strategy, right? But what is very common amongst all of them is consistency. And when you're dropping a year, I feel it's very important to be consistent rather than having few months where it's a high and few months where it's a low. And that's what, Harshita has displayed over the last 1 year, and that's reflected in her amazing rank. Harshita, one last thing which I would ask you to do. So, I'm going to give you two scenarios, and I just want you to make a rough outline of a plan for them, right? So let's assume that the NEET PG exam next year is going to be, say, in February. The rumors are that, right? So if somebody is starting now, when should they finish their first reading, and how much time for revisions?
If they are starting from May, I think they should complete their revision by November, sir.
Right.
uh, Half of the November. So first reading is the main reading. That's my strategy, sir. So you should so so that you can revise
At least once or twice.
once, sir.
Perfect. And if somebody is planning for November INI-CET, what would be your 5 tips for them?
Uh, the most useful thing was my previous year topics, sir.
Right.
So I think when you're preparing for an INISET, you should learn the topic in depth. I think so, sir.
Okay. So focus more on previous year topics, make a list of those topics, and go in depth of those topics if your plan is the INI-CET exam.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
After 4000 rank in NEET PG 2021, I was really in a kind of dilemma whether to join and keep on trying for the better rank. That's when my parents have supported me like anything. You can do it and you have to do it. It's your dream to join in the better colleges. That's when I started giving GTs, and I started doing my best for the exams, and I got these ranks. So I want to dedicate these ranks to my parents. Thank you so much for them.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Harshita. Thank you for taking out time, and I congratulate you once again from the entire
Thank
Marrow
you.
team. Please
Thank you,
congratulate your
sir.
parents as well. I'm sure they've also sacrificed a lot
Yes,
to
sir.
make
Yes,
this
sir.
happen. All right.
Thank
Thank you
you so
very much.
much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.